Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Tel Aviv. Coming up in today's newscast, a recent wave of terror continues in Jerusalem. An Israeli superstar is making waves in France, and a new Israeli restaurant takes the United States by storm. I'm Natasha Kirchak here with the latest news in Israel. Two Palestinian terrorists opened fire on police officers in Jerusalem last night, and both attackers were killed in an ensuing gun battle. The attackers were carrying automatic weapons and started shooting at guards near the Damascus Gate entrance to the Old City. The officers fired back and hit one assailant immediately, but the other tried to flee while still firing his weapon. A police spokesman says police managed to shoot him down before he could escape.
Police officers responded to a terrorist attack that took place by two suspects who were in and around the Damascus Gate here in Jerusalem. A short while ago, police units spotted the two terrorists. One of them attempted to open fire at our officers. Immediately, our officers responded. Both the terrorists were shot at the scene and killed. Heightened security is continuing into the area in order to prevent any further terrorist attacks this evening in Jerusalem.
There were no injuries to Israeli forces in the terror incident. Both of the attackers have been identified as Palestinians from the West Bank who are in their 20s, and one is apparently a Palestinian police officer. The Damascus Gate entrance has been the site of several attempted terror attacks in the last month, and heightening security continues in the area. Lately, there's been a lot of speculation that Hamas is digging tunnels under Israel. Well, it turns out one terror group is claiming to have tunnels that reach into Israel, and this time it's not Hamas. Palestinian terrorists in Gaza have released a video of a new tunnel they say reaches into Israel. The footage reveals armed terrorists inside the tunnel, carrying around improvised rockets. The video was apparently released by the National Resistance Brigades, which is a military branch of the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine. The group identifies itself as a secular jihadist organization, meaning it's different than Hamas. A spokesman from the National Resistance Brigade says they're preparing for the next war with Israel. He claims terrorists will use a tunnel to infiltrate Israel and kidnap Israeli soldiers so they can swap them for Palestinian prisoners.
وذلك لكي يستخدمها الفدائيون في تنفيذ عمليات فدائية ضد الاحتلال الإسرائيلي. هذه الأنفاق سيستخدمها الفدائيون في كتائب المقاومة الوطنية من أجل تنفيذ عمليات خلف خطوط العدو وأسر جنود إسرائيليين والعمل على مبادلتهم بأسرى فلسطينيين.
Israeli officials claim a number of Arab nations are planning to obtain nuclear weapons to defend themselves against Iran. Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon says that Arab states are refusing to sit and watch while Iran is developing a nuclear bomb. Israeli arms control expert Emily Landau is backing up this claim and says that Arab states want to be in a better position to develop nuclear weapons to defend themselves against Iran. Landau says the Arab states are showing more interest in developing civilian nuclear programs, which would allow them to set up military programs at a short notice. Meanwhile, Defense Minister Ya'alon claims Israel continues to closely monitor the enforcement of the Iran nuclear agreement. Immigrating to Israel is a big and wonderful step, but I can tell you from first-hand experience that it's not an easy one. Many new immigrants leave behind their family and friends, steady jobs, and a familiar language. But luckily, a new foundation is helping remind newcomers that it's all worth it. Liami Lawrence is a founder of the organization Keep Olim, and he's on a mission to help immigrants integrate into Israel. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Shalom.
Shalom. So, Liami, I've heard that your friends call you the Messiah of Olim. How did you get that great nickname?
Wow, that's a big title to live up to. Basically, it's like this. I made Aliyah 17 months ago. And after 9 months here, I was leaving the country. So I went to Facebook. I started a group to complain loudly. And in 5 days, 3,000 people joined the group. And that was the impetus to start the foundation. When we now have 23,000 people in our Facebook group called Keep Olim in Israel. And then we started a foundation called Keep Olim. And now it's a nonprofit. And now we're raising money to do all the programs and systems that we need to keep Olim in this country.
So what kinds of programs do you guys offer?
First, we have free legal aid. We have adopt an Aleh program that we're going to start in probably another month or so, where every new immigrant gets an Israeli similar to them, and they will guide them, be their friend, invite them over for Shabbat, take them around to, make sure everything's cool with contracts. We're doing a big thing is mental health, okay? The Olim come to Israel, and like you said, they don't speak the language. So what happens is, it's hard to find a job. It's hard to go back to school. You have 40, 50-year-old ladies going back to school. So what happens? They break down. And the husband can't find a job, or the wife can't find a job, and the kids are not doing well. So they need counseling. And basically, a lot of people are very open about it. So we decided we are going to provide unique, low-cost, quality counseling by people, psychologists and psychiatrists that want to volunteer with us. And we'll do it for half the price, of which not only is half the price, but the Oleh will only pay half of that. So meaning, if the psychologist is 250 shekels an hour, we at Keep Olim will do it for 120, and then of which the Oleh, the client, only has to pay half of that. And if they can't afford that, then we'll do a sliding scale. So we're also one-third of all suicides in Israel are Olim Chadashim.
Well, so I did not know that number. I did not know that statistic.
Very, listen, this is my dream, to live here, okay? It was my dream for years. It was a sense of belonging. My name means my nation or my people belong to me, Liami. So I belong to this nation. It's a very rocky start for many people. And unfortunately, probably half of the Western immigrants go back within the first 3 years. So we're trying to come up with programs. We have social activities, a lot of social events. We had a Hanukkah party for 350 Olim.
And I want to hear more about that later. I want to hear about what kind of unique events exist here to be able to see. But I also want to ask you about the fact that you are an actor as well. And I understand that you're performing in the biggest English-speaking theater in Israel.
That's
Tell us
correct.
About that.
Thanks. So it's called the Stage Theater. It's the premier English language theater in Israel. And it's a Steve Martin play that we're putting on called Picasso at the Lapin Agel. It's what happens when when Picasso meets Einstein meets Elvis. And I'm playing Elvis. And it's very long process to get into an Elvis character. It's funny because one of my friends, two-time Oscar nominee Carol Connors, she dated Elvis Presley when she was a kid, way back. So I heard a lot of stories.
You've heard all these stories.
Yeah, I heard all these stories before. And the unique thing for your listeners is Elvis used to wear a chai.
Really?
If you see pictures of his shows to the end of his life, he always wore a chai. He believed he was part Jewish. And he actually he donated a lot of money to Jewish causes as well.
That's true. Not a lot of people actually knew that Elvis Presley had that connection to Judaism. And so how are you preparing for this role? Do you sing? What do
I
you
only
do?
have to sing 2 lines. Wow, that's a lot. No.
Well, but 2 lines by Elvis Presley is not easy.
No, it's not. No, basically, I've watched his tapes and listened to his music for the last couple of months to get into character. And now I probably have to take dancing lessons. And, I think the singing I got down. So it's a huge production. It's 500-seat theater. And they have some of the top actors in Israel and immigrants themselves who are in this play.
And speaking of that, you've created this huge network, obviously, for Olim Chadashim, new immigrants, and you're acting, and there are all these opportunities that exist in Israel for new immigrants. But what, in your opinion, is the best opportunity that a new immigrant can come across when they come to this country?
Basically, recreating yourself. Okay, whatever you did in America or France no longer exists. You come here and you have to recreate yourself. For instance, I came here, and it was always my dream to be a comedian. I had a talk show in the States, but I was too shy to go up. I was an actor years ago, but I was too shy to go up on stage. So I did it a year ago this week, and about 6 months ago, I started my own show and now it's the biggest English language stand-up show weekly in Tel Aviv every Wednesday night. So you could recreate your dream and live it, and living your dream is Israel. So I never thought I'd be, quote unquote, the messiah of Olim. I thought I'd just get a job in PR and be like everybody else. I didn't know that this whole thing, that's what I'm saying, like you have to recreate yourself, you have to be open to opportunity.
I guess, the bottom line here is it's really an amazing country to live in, and, there might be some setbacks when you first come here, but it's worth it at the end. So thank you so much for coming in. And
Thank you.
an Israeli singer is making major waves in France, and she's just taken home the most prestigious music award in the country. I bet you've even heard one of her songs. ILTV reporter Denise Wood has a scoop.
Israeli singer Yael Naim has done it again, winning the French equivalent of a Grammy for the third time. Naim won Best Singer of the Year for her album, Older, and is taking home a Victoire Award, which represents a huge musical achievement in France. The 38-year-old Israeli singer broke into the French music scene just a few years ago with her hit single, New Soul.
I'm a young soul in this very strange world.
The Parisian-born songstress has taken home 3 French Victoire Awards since 2008, and it looks like her rise to fame is just beginning. Even though Naim was born in France, she grew up in Ramat HaSharon in Israel and studied at a local music conservatorium. She also served in the Israeli military and was a part of the Air Force Orchestra as a soloist during her military service.
It might sound crazy, but it's true. The best new restaurant in the United States happens to be Israeli. The Israeli restaurant Timna in New York City has been selected by the readers of USA Today and 10 Best as the best new restaurant in the United States. The 10 Best Readers' Choice Award is a huge one, since the ranking is one of the most popular years-end summaries in American mainstream media. Timna has been open since April of 2015 and serves Moroccan and Bedouin dishes like harira stew and shakshuka. The restaurant's chef Nir Mesika hails from northern Israel and has a long history working in Israel's top kitchens. And now for our Hebrew word of the day. Hearing about all of this amazing Israeli food has made us hungry, bringing us to today's word ta'im, which means tasty in Hebrew. Ask anyone who's visited Israel and they'll probably tell you that one of their favorite things about the country is the food. Don't get us wrong, there's a ton of amazing sights to see in Israel, but there's no beating a good falafel or hummus. They say food is a way to a man's heart, and Israelis definitely agree. If Israelis like what they're eating, they'll be quick to say "Eze ta'im," which means how tasty. And don't worry, Israelis aren't just saying that to be polite. If food is bad, they'll make sure you know. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather forecast. It's time to pull out your sunglasses because we can look forward to a beautiful week in Tel Aviv. Tomorrow is expected to be sunny with a high of 77 degrees, and the sun should stay out through Wednesday with the temperature going up to 78. All right, everybody, that's it for today's news. Today's exchange rate is 3.88 shekels to the American dollar. Remember to sign up for our daily newsletter at ILTV.tv, and don't forget to check out our evening update every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tonight.